All right, the triangle of art, philosophy, and technology. Very excited to talk about this. I'm actually talking on behalf of the founder of Nyoki, which is a metaverse, a very different kind of metaverse. Actually an advisor for this company, and I'm just going to be briefly talking about the triangle of art, philosophy, and technology. My PhD was in consumer behavior, right? So I'm really fascinated about the philosophy of why we do what we do, right? And the most fascinating thing when I graduated and I finished my dissertation was this space. It was what's going on with smart contracts, what's going on with digital assets, what's going on the blockchain, and how do these three things converge together? So philosophy, right? Philosophically, philosophy really helps us to think critically. This is a super important thing. One of the things I talk to brands about a lot is, why is this space so hard sometimes, right? Why is it so hard? Well, because it requires us to really critically think. We can't just pay Facebook to go ahead and post something and make sure that it amplifies our voice. We have to think a little bit more critically about why we're doing what we're doing and why we're bringing people together around our brand, around our thing, our NFT project, right? Really, art comes in because art is an expression of how we feel, right? Who here has ever felt like Web 2 doesn't really feel like it's representative of who you are? I know I have certainly felt that myself. What this space promises is decentralization, right? The concept of decentralization and democratizing the ability for us all to be able to express ourselves, to critically think and put those thoughts out into the world. Metaverse is a word that's very overly used, I think, in this space. But metaverse is essentially just like, it's an evolution of an e-commerce, right? Of an experience online in the internet. It's very early days, but Nyoki, one of the interesting things about Nyoki that you'll learn as we go on through the week is it's really about allowing communities and brands to build their own world around their community, right? It's not just here's a world that someone else built and come in here and build on top of it. It's create your own world, create your own expression, critically think why you're building it. And then we have technology. Technology is how we're all here today, right? We're all here because of this technology, this thing called the blockchain, a public ledger that allows us to all validate and see what's actually happening. Things are the transactions are recorded and immutable. You cannot make it up. You cannot change it. You can change metadata. Don't forget that. Metadata can change, and you can do that in a very creative, interesting way. But this is where I think the triangle really comes together in Web3. Philosophy, you're critically thinking about why you're doing what you're doing. You're not just scrolling through and paying people to influence others to amplify what your message is. What is your message? Why would people come to you? Why would people come together as a community to build together? I'm fascinated by co-creation, which is where art and philosophy and this technology allows us to create and build together. There's an enormous gap right now, and I know this technology is going to be a huge part of filling that up. You guys have all probably heard of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. Voting mechanisms are changing, right? What's going on with voting right now in DAOs? It's very interesting, right? We've got governance mechanisms, we've got social mechanisms. These things all exist in the real world, right? We're just getting outside of the box, and we're really trying to make things more democratic, more decentralized, so there's not one central source that rules it all, right? It's a much more meaningful experience. Like when I actually get to see some of my friends, like you guys over here out of London, I get to see you guys again. You're my community, you're my people. I want to build with you, right? I see you, and I want you to have a voice as we create and we move forward. That makes things more meaningful to me as a customer, and it actually ensures the longevity of whatever we're building actually exists beyond my own lifetime. I think oftentimes philosophically about one's legacy. Why are we all here, right? So really, Web3 democracy is what my ideal philosophical theory, I hope it gets realized, right? And I'm really excited because I'm sure, who here has experimented with some AI in the last 6 months? Yeah, me too, right? ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 3, Midjourney, all the names that you guys know, right? How is AI and Web3 going to converge and help each other out? To me, it's like peanut butter and jelly. It's a great, great pairing, right? AI and Web3, I challenge you guys to think a little bit about it. And I say that because Nyoki actually came out with Gia, the very first AI-generated avatar to really represent diversity within the metaverse, and really trying to not just take data points and put them all together and spin it into some AI. It's about really making it meaningful for people. We want to define a brilliant utility for the NFTs. Utility, utility, utility. You guys, ticketing is a really fascinating thing. When someone uses a ticket to get into here, okay, they're in here. What happens next, right? That is something we should all be thinking about in terms of what we're building next. There's a lot ahead, and I'm really excited to see what we can do. Of course, there's ethical concerns about AI and Web3 and all of these things. There are scammers out there. I've gotten stuff stolen, people. It's almost like a rite of passage. But before we reach mainstream adoption, we have got to figure out that security, right? But there are also ethical concerns in terms of AI. What happens next? There's a lot of uncertainty, and we just need to really make sure that the right people, the diversity of perspectives and philosophies and art expression is all actually really considered in the future. I really encourage you guys all to check out Nyoki. They are launching an OG NFT collection. If you guys want to learn more, highly encourage you guys to check it out, and I look forward to seeing you guys very soon.